It's not what you do as an entrepreneur. It's not the business that you do. It's the selling. And this is why like the value of being in sales for entrepreneurs is huge. So like if you don't have the sales chops, the most valuable thing you can do is give yourself some sort of document, a deck, right? A way that outlines the story that you're gonna tell. You gotta ask a lot of questions, right? The biggest mistake that entrepreneurs will make is they'll talk about themselves and they'll sell and they'll sell and they'll sell and they'll talk about how great they are and everything else. You would never have gotten to the meeting unless they knew how great you are, right? Like there's no such thing as a blind date in business anymore. So they've already done their research. They already know the quality of the content you bring forth and whatever it is you bring. And so when you're there with them, if you don't have sales chops, what my recommendation would be is to have, ask a bunch of questions. Ask them about their business, right? Do some real discovery. Be genuinely curious. Right? In that moment, what you want to do is you want to gather as much intel about their business, about them, how they got into the business, what they're passionate about, where they see it going. Get them talking, right? Because if they buy you, they're going to do business with you. That's ultimately what selling comes down to. So when after you've done that discovery, they'll give you an indicator of when it's time to move on. That indicator, if you've really done it effectively, sounds something to the effect of, "So what do you got?" Like if you hear that, then very simply you pull out that one pager, like that deck, whatever it is, and you show them the different packages that you bring, right? I can do this for you, I can do this for you, I can do this for you. Ultimately, what you have to do is explain the value between the three, right? And what they get. And ultimately, whatever they decide, great, you've made the sale. Right? They bought you and then they see the value that you're bringing from the different things that you bring in the equation. And that's how you build relationships. And that's ultimately how you're going to build a business. If you don't have the sales chops, make sure you have the tools that can help you kind of navigate through that and close. Don't leave the meeting without a yes, no, or a second appointment. Get them to agree to which one of those. And if they don't agree to it, then get them to move to a next meeting. What I'd like to do is schedule a next meeting, a next time to come in, and at that time we'll discuss which one of these packages, what direction you want to go in, and I'm going to lay out some of the things based on our meeting today what I'd like to do. Right, in a creative situation, here's kind of the storyboard or whatever other tools you bring in, kind of outline for them. But get that next meeting on the table, because the vast majority of sales never happen, not because they're not interested, but because we don't capitalize on that moment of emotion where they see the connection, where they see the value. And so move them to that next appointment, and you just very simply you point to their phone, you say, "Hey, do you keep your calendar in there? Let's get a date a week out, 10 days out, enough time for me to digest what you've shared with me today and enough time for you to think about it, and we'll lock it in there and get that date in the calendar," right? This is your best friend. Point to it, and they can't back off of it. And if they resist, if at that moment they're like, "No," you got to understand that you just didn't sell them, right? They're not bought into you. No doesn't mean no, not never. It just means they didn't see enough value in what you were bringing today, and it's okay, right? Alleviate that maybe from your conscience, from your consciousness, because that'll keep you from doing the things you need to, which is go out and prospect more. And so what you've got to do is if they're not willing to commit to that next appointment, say, "All right, no worries. What I'll do is just follow up with you every once in a while, and every month, 2 months, 3 months, and when the timing's right, we'll be able to put a project together." And that way you can move on in your business, and you don't have to kind of sit around waiting. Hope is not a strategy. Right? Hoping that you get a new client will not pay your mortgage. It will not get you closer to being able to walk away from that job that you currently hate, to pursue the dream that you've set for yourself. Close it, make it happen. And if you don't have the chops, bring the tools.